Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another siege. Hosted by the 77Y, and I know what you're thinking. Wow, that's an unusual looking fort. But no, that's actually the starting point for the enemy forces. The fort is there. So, they make their way down here, obviously. You've got nasty little platforms going over the top, and they obviously can be sunk. Have the portcullis entrance here. So obviously controls will be inside. Just on the inside. And you can see now all these lovely cannon areas for them to defend from. Complete with a random gourd of something. So you can see also over on the left hand side is another cannon. So, this is the defences that these guys have. You can see here, another cannon. And over here, just a general standing area and picnic basket area. So, look at this. Even got nice flower beds as well. So, there's no reason why a fort can't be nicely decorated. So, they're defending their dinner, which is essentially what's going to happen. So, you've got the building there that they can then defend from once one of these breaches is made in the walls. The walls are relatively thick. And up here, you have the other part of the fort. So, you have more cannons on the fort. How many they're going to have, I don't know. That depends on the rules. And you can see here, there is another mortar, with which they can then fire onto those areas. Now, you can see once they get into that fort here, they can, if they wish, go up these ladders towards this fort, through this, and you can see the flag. Complete with piano player is Natter. Okay. Now, it could be that what they want to try and do is make their way through this wall here. Now, the trouble is with that, is it only gets you into one layer. Here. So you can see another layer waiting behind yet more portcullises, and then the inner sanctum of the fort where the mortars are stored. So, once they make their way through there, they can, if they wish, make use of this rather sneaky cliffside platform. Now you can see here, this is the cliffside platform, and it takes them all the way over the side here. They can, of course, go up that platform if they wish. This is only depending on where the breach is actually going to be. And, lo and behold, most likely some destructible doors. So, plenty of options for the teams to go for. Most likely you'll see a breach in that wall, and then a run up that section, or maybe even a run up that section. Or maybe he's trying to get some more breaches in this section of the wall here from the cannons on the far side. So, there you have it. That is the map. I think it's time for me to stop nattering, as Mal would say. And we'll get underway any second. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It is live, live, live. And Charles Lexington has already stabbed himself with the forehead while trying to comb his hair, and indeed has his hospitaller. So, the English forces drilled and staying behind cover for obvious reasons, because of those dastardly 77Y cannoneers. Ah, licensed bagpipery! Cornet Stark, we approve of your bagpipery. So let's see. Up here, the artillery sections of the attacking forces. So you've obviously got there. You can see here, standard cannon. In the centre, you have a single mortar and a standard cannon on the other side. So, oh, and the two-dimensional family of birds has come to watch the fight. So, Mr. and Mrs. Bird, there's Mr. Bird, and of course Mrs. Bird, trawling behind. But why we shall wait and see what's going on. Now, you can see this is the attack. This is the section here. You can see them attacking at the front and also going through the fields, trying to make use of the cover and getting across probably on that right-hand side. Now, you can see over here, they're going to try and take down one of these walls, maybe. Have to wait and see. And they've got to try and deal with these kind of anti-man and horse barricades. So we'll have to wait and see how the teams get on. And let me tell you about the teams. On the Russian side, we have the 77Y and the 77Y and the 77Y. On the opposing side, and they have advantage in numbers by about 13, no, about 15. So you have the 5th, the IRNR4, the 6th Brigade, the 75th, the 1st CSG, and many, many more in there. Look at that, the IRNR59 as well. Just so many wonderful people in there. So, and we have the signpost that tells you absolutely sod all. So, yay for good signposting. So, Sneckermace there doing a good job with the cannon, the mortar I should say, sorry. I have no idea what this thing is supposed to be. I think maybe it's an alien creature or it's some kind of, I don't know, maybe it's Aztir's brain. I don't know. Anyway, let's see what's going on as we're now watching the defensive forces. You can see 77Y pretty much clustered over here on the left side. They know that the left side is probably going to be the one that is most prone to attack. Now as we fly past Aztir's brain and look over on the right side, as there we go, you can see Marksman the Quick One taken out and Spitter also taken down. And you can see them actually working, the artillery are working this left-hand side. Now, it's quite interesting to see whether or not they're actually working that as a distraction over on the right here, maybe. I don't know, difficult to say. But if they get breach here, that means they will be on for getting into here. Now, that might be a little careless. We'll have to wait and see what turns out there. So, now, is there anybody here? Yes, there is. So there's Joseph, cannoneer of choice. And over on the other side, spawning by the flag, there's Slayer Boy. And there's Greatsword, and there's some rockets as well. Fantastic stuff. And there's a Natter as well, headbutting the guards. And a Molokoro. And, of course, Count Confusion. Indeed. So, that's the defensive sections of the inner fort. Complete with Bombardier Joseph over here. And Charlie the Turtle with a nice mortar kill. So, this must be the turtle over here. No, that's Sneckermace. Maybe it's Mr. Turtle here. It is, of course, Monsieur Turtle himself. And we are now seeing pushing coming in by the forces here, the Brits, the 1st CSG, trying to push up. The 75th also coming under massive fire, camped out behind these walls. And you can now see, let's see on the left-hand side if they've made any kind of move towards a breach. You can see them still working on it. There we go. Very, very close to a breach on this side. You've also now got Lortano, who seems to be outside for some reason. Don't even want to know why. And yeah, I think you might want to close the door. There we go. So, Requiem closing the door. And these guys here are working the breach, or the area where it's most likely going to be a breach. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen, because once they get one of the breaches there, that means they're going to have to retask pretty much most of their forces, which is over on the left-hand side, away from this area. So, it also means then they won't be able to get through that portcullis. You can see this young fellow down here. There's Draxphone and Patton and Snarfy in there as well. And moving around the back, of course, is Semple. So, you can see there's been a little bit of a breach attempt here as well. Now, the trouble is, obviously, that breach attempt there means that it's difficult for them to actually get to that safely. Oh, Count Confusion with a mass Cannonball kill. Lovely shot by Count Confusion. Taking down 5 members. And Sneckermace returns the favour, as well as Charlie the Turtle. Brutal, brutal goings on here. So you can see huge amounts of smoking craters by the cannons. You can see nasty, nasty goings on by the 77Y. Taking out their opposing numbers with accurate mortar fire. So, let's see what's going on now. You can see left-hand side of the fort. That's looking like a breach. It is indeed. So, to what degree are the 77Y going to now start moving troops over to one side? Currently there is, of course, the commanding officer, Colonel Aztir, taking a pot shot and missing completely. So now they have a breach. Now this is the opportunity that the English are waiting for. Which direction are they going to go? Looks like there we go. They're moving towards that breach. They've got to be careful. As now obviously Aztir is moving people in towards the defence of that section. And the 77Y, Corporal Ryan taken down. There's Arden Wankenstein, great name. And David McAndrews and Michael Ney as well. Oh, fantastic stuff going on here. As you can see, in comes the stabby goodness as the Scots Guards make their way through. The Black Watch and Aztir team killed. It's officially a proper game now for 77Y. So GG to Aztir and well played. So never mind. So you can now see the likes of Captain VI or Captain 7th and Patton getting team killed as well. Now the Brits are now all over this section. That means then you can see here the 77Y will then start moving over. You're still going to have some people who are going to stay in a defensive strategy over here, trying to defend this gate, but most of the attention will now be focused over here on the right-hand side of the fort. Now, the advantage, obviously, of bringing those guys over from here is they can fire into the British forces as they come through that breach. Now, you've obviously got these areas up here as Thomas with a nice kill onto the 75th, taking down Ensign Grumpy as well. Let's see who these fellows are over here. There's the First Light, there's Capiche, and Corporal Rusty, and Cadet Horner trying to make his way across without getting shot in the face. Now here obviously is another good spot for a breach. You can see ladder makes it easy to get to, and flower beds behind make it very pretty when you get there. So now let's see what's going on. As you can see, the defence of the breach being defended by the 77Y troops. And Prof Troll catching a bullet. Weaver also getting a bullet in the face. As the 75th is now attacking. As we follow Captain Major making his way through. Multiple stabs coming out. Jelger, Cornboy himself, is getting in there and stabbing left, right and centre. So in comes Banjo Lord. Looking to try and get in there. Going in for a bit of stabby goodness. But unfortunately was unsuccessful. So let's see. As we're now watching Ensign Grumpy. Oh dear. Poor old Cola. Oh, and again, Slayer Boy. Oh, these guys are going to be very, very careful making their way out of spawn with that kind of cannon fire coming down from the fort. So, this is what you've got to be careful of. You've got to watch out for those running in a straight line situations for that reason. Thank you, Thomas, for proving my point. Very kind of you. So, anyway, now you can see, unfortunately, the numbers of the 75th completely decimated by the cannon fire and the rifle fire. And now they're going to be pouring in through this breach. Look at this amount of rifles and muskets on the floor as the Russians are now fighting to hold this section. Well, all of them, nearly all of them are. There we go. There's Romanov. And now you can see Romanov looking for an opportunity to go in for a stab. It's a stab party. And now you can see also defending here. There's Corporal Ryan going in for a bit of stabby goodness, as well as JHS. And defending here on the left-hand side is Bruiser. And Abercrombie, of course. And Lotano. Oh, dear. So you can see more stabby goodness occurring. Now, what are the Brits going to do? Are they going to try and get a second breach? You can see they're kind of working on exactly that. in the middle here. Or I should say to the right of the main gate. And they're progressing it, but they may not be progressing it quickly enough. Because bear in mind, once they make their way through here, they've then got to fight their way up here. Now, obviously, hopefully somebody's going to close that. You've got a few guys up here on the rocks, which are quite good because they're in very difficult to assail positions. So, I'm waiting for Natter to die on landing, but never mind. And if they don't do that way, you're going to have to go up here. And this is a choke point. And that's a bit of a problem, because if you notice, the gates here are already flattened. So, we're looking about the possibility of a desperate defensive maneuver. So, let's see what's going on as the Brits continue attacking force. The 5th, 1st Corporal, Thor, well and truly thawed out. As there's 1233 Luke B. There's PFC Patton. And there's Prof Troll in with a cannon. Managing to kill Octo Knight and Swaggings. And let's see what's on the left here. There's Kohler, Lieutenant Kohler. Leading the NR4. Spartiat, Montez 13. Desert Eagle. Oh dear. Darth Killer, unfortunately, being taken down. And there we go. Yet another being taken out as well. That was poor old Montez 13. So, you've also got these guys here up on the top. Here, they can then fire down into that breach. So these guys, Dutch Ref and Hospitaller, in a good position because you can hide behind this section here, using the cover that the roof provides, down onto the troops. Now, the Brits, the artillery, really need to get a breach quicker, a second breach, because at the moment this is a choke point that the Russians can really hold in and basically pour as much fire as they possibly can, along with melee and stabby goodness into this particular section. They are being contained within this area at the moment, but it's just a matter of whether or not they can actually keep it that way. As you can see, attempt there by Charles Vassar. Unfortunately, he was unable to hold off the enemy and get that gate open. But the trouble is, because there's so many people around this area, as soon as they open the gate, they're just going to close it straight away. So, let's find out what the status. See, you can see some of the rocks, some of the stone has been taken away, but it still hasn't been finished. Now, let's see if there's anything else breach related. You can see mortars landing, the smoking craters and the mortars. There's a few breach was going there as Tweet gets team killed. Poor old Tweet. And as you can see, no attention being paid to the right hand gate. So, the Brits continuing to force the issue. As you can see, the guys dodging left, right and centre. Poor old Loopers, or Luppers, taken down. Here's Ace Ball making a run. They're dodging left and right to try and avoid the fire coming down from the 77Y muskets. And they're firing back as best they can. But the trouble is, as soon as they stop to fire back, they then become targets. They got to move. As who's this outside? This is the quick one, going in for a bit of backstabbing and front stabbing and side stabbing and lots of stabbing. And there's Thomas in there as well. And Token being taken down. JHS also, as Count Confusion gets taken down by Canval from the NR59. Lovely shot indeed. So now it's looking like a desperate situation even for the British. They really need to get in there. Oh, it's a rocket! Hey! Rockety goodness. So, let's see what's going on now. Part of the issue is the fact that they only have a single breach. Now, if they had that breach there, maybe that breach there, it would be easier for them to actually... And Aztir team kills one of his own team. Good job, Aztir. So, and there we go. That's exactly what we were waiting for. The second breach, unfortunately, I think the time may not be enough in order for them to actually make serious use of it. As a result, now, there we go, you can see members of the 77Y pouring over from the right-hand side to try and cover that second breach by the gatehouse. So, Lortano trying to defend with a nice cannonball shot. There's Ace Ball waiting for an opportunity to go in without getting shot. As more stabby goodness is occurring. In goes Ace Ball and shot down by Hagman, who was up in the gatehouse. And Trooper Lewis manages to drown. How is that even possible? I don't even want to know. So, whoops a daisy. Somebody didn't land very well. I think that was Prof Troll, maybe. Don't know. So this little defensive section of Semple, Gaz. Now, you can see, obviously, Gaz has got a very good view here. The only drawback is he can't see the far left-hand side of the fort, but to be fair, I don't think they need to really worry about it. As rockets come flying over the top. You can see here, there's not really a lot going on. The cannoneers will tell them if anything's going on down. And you can see the British forces continuing to push. Trying to get in there. Trying to do something that means they can get up there and get in. Let's see what's going on. Oh dear. As Thomas blows himself to bits. And you can see here, look at these fantastic mortar shots by the opposing artillery. Just beautiful, straight on top of the flag. Absolute poetry. So. Oh, look at that mortar strike on one of the buildings. Rocked the building completely. Is that a massive hole in the front? Yes, it is. More mortar shots like that, please, gentlemen. As rocket fire comes whistling over the top as well. Cannon fire continues, but with 1 minute and 40 seconds. And another rocket. We approve of rocket use. So, let's just wait and see. As more rockets come flying in, but with 52 seconds left on the clock. We are waiting to see. And another team kill. I don't think that the British forces will be able to break this siege, or will be able to advance the siege beyond this point being defended by the 77Y. I think the part of the issue is the fact that they got that second breach a little bit too late. If they had had more breaches, or maybe even another breach over here on the left hand side where the wall is relatively thin-ish, it might have been a quicker issue. But bear in mind, these guys are limited. They only have like 1 mortar and 2 cannons, so there's got to be a certain level of focusing of fire. And the fort is massively overarmed, considering. And you can see there, nice breach, but unfortunately too late. As the teams get changed around, and we move onto the defending round, the teams get switched around, and it's now team... Oh dear, it's now time for the sides to get sorted, and we'll be underway. We'll be right back. And so we return to the battlefield, as the sides have all been swapped around. So, the defending forces are now attacking, and the attackers are now defending. As there's a big punch-up with loads of Scots people at the spawn. Freedom! Oh my god, it's a shirtless cannoneer. Oh god, it had to be Joseph. Oh god. So hard he has to do his cannoneering shirtless. You see, he's aiming for that same spot on the left-hand side. And working together with dropkick. Oh, it's a rocket! Oh, look at that. Skywalker. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful shot indeed. Look at that. Multiple members of the 77Y flattened by a cannonball. So this is always good stuff as the cannonballs continue to fly out. And look at this. Shots coming in from the mortars to try and flatten that side. Shots coming in from the cannons, trying to take down that side. And fire coming in from all sides. Now, obviously, you've got a little bit of fire coming in on the right-hand side, as these guys might be running a distracting maneuver. So, let's see. There's smoke trail. And Aztir gets shot in the forehead. Fantastic stuff. Always good to see. Obviously, Aztir may not necessarily think that. You can see they're also going for a little bit of... Oh, what's this? Why is there a horse? So there's Field Marshal Ben from the NR-59. Obviously, being very helpful riding around a fort in this horse. And you can see, there we go, the breach already occurring on the left of the gatehouse. And the breach will be occurring probably on the right of the gatehouse, as both of the artillery focus their attention. So there's the NR-59, Cannoneer, Kangirian, and Skywalker again. Oh, evil, evil Skywalker. Beautiful, beautiful shot coming in from Skywalker. So he's doing a great job, as you can see. More troops moving in, hiding behind the buildings. What? Oh, okay. So, let's follow the Ginger Ninja himself and see how long he lasts. So you can see him leading a combination of Scotsmen and sailors, which is kind of, yeah. That's Aztir all over. Oh, nice block by Aztir there, as all his troops charge into battle. So we're following Aztir as another breach now on the right-hand side. This is where... And down he goes. So Aztir is no more. And it now means that they have two breaches on the left-hand side. Now the advantage of this, because the artillery has been working together and focusing their attention, means that 16 minutes left, they can now utilise these two breaches as well as work on multiple other breaches. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see another breach coming up here at some point. We'll have to wait and see. If we look over, where could another breach possibly go? You could be looking at another breach. Oh, Skywalker! Holy hell in a handbasket. Oh my goodness. Wow. Skywalker, look at that. 20-0. 20-0. Good God. Look at that. Wow. That's what you call a serious cannoneer. So now, the forces continue to move over the bridge. Now, I have a funny feeling that the cannoneer was in position here. He may be the guy who's currently doing Superman through the wall. But up here also, let's have a look. There's Auriculus. There's Skywalker. Look at that. The artillery nozzle himself. So now you can see a nice kill by Auriculus onto multiple members of the 77Y as they're making their way across one of these bridges. Now, oh, look at that. Canister shot into the 77Y as they come across the bridge. More fire into the 77Y as they're coming along over this bridge. And, oh dear, so many sailors dying. Now, who's this? This looks to me like a Gaz. It is. With everyone dying around him as they're trying to make their way across the bridge. Gaz staying down there. Let's see if we've got another... Oh, look at those cannonballs flying over the top. It looks like they're working towards another breach there by the ladder, but this is where they're going to try and push their advantage. As you can see, lots of Brits on the inside now. as Luppers gets taken down by Fluffles. And now you can see there's Private Joker from the 75th. There's Fluffles. And there's Captain Major. Wonder if he's got a brother called Major Captain. But anyway, we'll see. So, there's Capiche going after Gaz, but actually killing Bashful instead. Whoops-a-daisy. There goes Gaz. Desert Eagle takes him out. And that... Really? Heavens above. The quick one is sneaking around the fort. He's got to be careful. This is sneaky play by the quick one. Can he get in there? He's going to try and take down the gate. Checking his back to make sure no one's sneaking up on him. Uh-oh. Here's the quick one. Going after the cannoneers. And taking down one of the cannoneers. Going after the commanding officer. So now Suicider is down. And he's going to be giving the shout to everybody saying, I'm at the flag, I'm at the flag, get up here. A little bit of stabby goodness going on. As you can see here. Being blocked. Oh, takes a saber slice and takes down his enemy. And now he's in the process of dying. So, Karlstein now killing his enemy, but this is the problem. Lime Fred, Gerald M, the Ginger Ninja, and Baker. This is the problem they're now going to have. They're going to get people on the flag. Meanwhile, while everybody's dozy-doing down here, these guys really need to move. Because you can see the fights occurring. You can see the defenses going on here. The Russians really need to get themselves together and get people, preferably on this cannon, and maybe over on across on the platform. Which is what you can see one of these fine fellows doing. There's Charles Lexington. You can see them making their way over on this platform. So, let's find out, as it now looks like the Russians doing a more sterling job of defending this section. More defenders are in place. There's Skywalker. Cannoneer Skywalker. As here comes the 77Y pain train. Abercrombie, Bill the Butcher, J-Wall, Martaxus, and hello sailor, it's Hidzy. Now they're trying to take down... Oh, look at that! A little breach on the left-hand side. And this is where Hidzy's going. So they have options. They have options, boys and girls, which means they can attack from two directions. So a definite good play by the Cannoneers, as they've done a really good job of opening up the fort for the 77Y. And now the Russians are going to have to move around and get into a position, especially when people like the quick one is standing on the flag. There we go. There's Skywalker being taken down by Hidzy. And Hidzy in the process of trying to take down one of the Cannoneers. Let's see who that is. It's Auriculus. Auriculus is defending himself with his stoking wand. Doing a good job so far. He's trying to tie up the people with a nice team kill there by Charlie the Turtle. And Auriculus still doing... Oh, Auriculus taken down by Hidzy. And now the flag beginning to drop. The Russians have been outmaneuvered. Look, you can see them coming across the bridge here. But I don't think they're going to be here quick enough, as the flag is continuing to drop. It's paused briefly as more Russians turn up to defend the inner fort. So, here are the Russians defending the flag for everything they're worth. As the baker is finished off. Look at that massive hole there. Underneath the cannon. As more of the 77Y charge in. As there, unfortunately. Oh dear, oh dear. Are the British forces all over the flag. The Russians need to get in there. But there's too many of them. And the Brits are going to take the fort. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That has been your siege for this evening. I hope you have enjoyed yourself. I hope you've enjoyed the game. And we'll see you again next time. Take care.